Short Answers to Common Objections Against Religion by Father Louis de Segur. Author's Preface. Here is a little book which I have written expressly for you, my dear reader. It will displease you perhaps at first sight. Allow me nevertheless to offer it to you, for that is a sure sign that you particularly need it. A good book, they say, is a friend. I hope, whatever you may think of it, that I now present to you one of those very friends. Receive it as one's friends should be received, with kindness and an open heart. I offer it to you in the same way. Although this friend speaks of rather serious things, I have every reason to believe that he will not tire you. I have strongly impressed this upon him, and he has promised not to preach, but simply to talk to you. After having read the last chapter, you shall see that he has kept his word. You will remark, no doubt, that the prejudices to which I oppose an answer are of three kinds. Some spring from impiety. They are the worst. I have commenced with them. Others spring from ignorance. Others again from a kind of cowardice. I hope the greater part of these objections are unknown to you, and that you have never seriously entertained them. I have nevertheless mentioned them as a preservative for the future. It is the antidote which, by way of precaution, I give you beforehand. I pray God that these simple conversations may do you good, that they may win your heart. Having learned by a sweet experience that true happiness consists in knowing, loving, and serving God, I have no more ardent desire than to see my own happiness, which is so pure, so solid, become yours also. The intention is good. That is something, above all in these times. Is the book itself good? I trust so, but I know my slender skill. You will find, no doubt, many questions treated too briefly, but I have been afraid of tiring you, my dear reader, and I have chosen rather to be incomplete than to put you to sleep. Woe to the book one nods over. As to this one, I advise you not to read too much of it at a time, but nevertheless to read it through, from the beginning to the end. Read with reflection, carefully weighing the reasons which I present to you. I beg you, above all, conscientiously and honestly, to seek the truth, not to reject it if it present itself to your mind. When the heart is upright and sincere, light breaks upon it very quickly. Publisher's Preface. It is sad to observe to what an extent belief in the divinity of Jesus Christ, in the immortality of the soul, and even in a personal superintending providence, is fast disappearing from among the young men of our day who have been brought up under Protestant influences. Are not some of our Catholic young men in danger of being carried away by this tide of infidelity? Can they escape entirely the baleful influences that surround them? Should they not be taught all that is necessary to preserve themselves, and be so fortified that their example and teaching would tend to arrest those false principles that are fraught with so much danger to the well-being of society? To effect this, good books are certainly useful, and we know of no book better fitted for this purpose than this admirable work of Segur. More than 300,000 copies of it have already been circulated.